Hi, I'm Rolof, and this is another basic project that takes a concept to the reality. I'm making a little trophy for a local football tournament. I'll use very basic design and basic materials to manufacture this. So I'll start with some sketches, model it up in my 3D software, then use Fusion 360 to program the cutting files. Then I'll use the G-code from there to cut the parts on the Carvera CNC machine. For the materials, I use ABS plastic for the base, a shaded clear acrylic for the upright, and then use some natural wood to give the whole design a little bit of warmth. I'll also do some laser engraving on the wood to mark the trophy and also include the club logo, and for that I'll use Lightburn. I also have a little inset recess in the top of the base where I'm going to insert a little plaque with the trophy details. So let's get right into it. So here I'll just start by going through some inspiration pictures on Pinterest just to get the idea. Then I'll start sketching out some designs just roughly, measure some materials, get some rough dimensions, and then set this up for the 3D design software. Next I'll model this up in the 3D software. The software that I'm using is Rhino 3D. And then I'll just export these files so I can import them into Fusion. So we're going to do the base in Fusion. So first thing to do is just to import the file. I've already uploaded it here. You just select that, select the file and upload it to the software. And that's already here, the trophy base. Okay, so this is the base that we'll be milling. It's a very basic base. We'll do a adaptive clearing of this area over here. We'll do a slot cutout for just this slot, and then we'll do an outside cut of the outside and then add some tabs. So first thing to do is just to set up your job. So I'll first go here to setup. Now we're going to use the Carvera 3-axis profile. If you don't have that, that's available on our website for download. We also have the 4th axis also there. We'll do a milling operation, and now the WCS system, the work coordinate system, we will use the model orientation as it is at the moment. I will select the origin as the box point, which is that area over there, and then the model has been selected. If it's not selected, then you just have to add the model to this so it knows what it wants to cut. Next we will do the stock. Now I already have my fixed size stock. You can also do an offset if you have a large piece. That's also fine. So I know that my width is 150 millimeters by 75 millimeters, and the part is 20 millimeters, and the stock is also 20 millimeters. So that's done on this tab. Then we'll go to the next one, which is your part positioning. Now we'll keep this in the center of the stock that I've just allocated, just to make sure that there's enough space surrounding it for the bit to run. So, and then the last thing is just the naming convention, program name. You don't have to modify this. If you do a lot of projects and cut files, then it's worth naming them in a fashioned order. So I'll just hit OK. Now that's set up. Now we'll start with our first operation. So we will do an adaptive clearing on this area. So I'll just select that chain to the bottom there. First of all, we'll select our tool. Now I've already uploaded the tools that's available for download also off the website. So I'll be using the 25mm, and I will be doing plastic. Hit select. We do not have to use any coolant for this, that's fine. This parameters has already been set up for the specific material and the specific bit, so you don't have to modify that. We go to the next tab, machining boundary. We've selected that curve at the bottom. That's the contours, that's been selected. Now we just go to check the bottom is at the bottom of the part. The top is at the top of the part, and then you've got your retract clearance and your overall clearance, which is 15mm. So we're happy with that. Everything is set up here correctly. Let's go to the next tab. We are not going to leave stock here because we wanted to cut to that surface. So I'll unclick that stock to leave option, and then we'll go here to the passes, optimal load, 2mm depth. So we'll keep it that way. We don't have to modify anything else here. Direction, climb, inside climb, that's fine. I usually use climb for inside cuts and conventional for outside cuts. That's just through my experience. And then the last thing is just the linking. We don't have any linking needed for just this part because it's a single part. So we'll hit OK and we'll wait for the path to generate. Gives you a little percentage here on how long it takes. And there you go. So that's 3 passes on this hole. Let's just simulate that. Right click on that, simulate. Let's see what happens here. Let's just slow that down a bit. Let's do that again. Okay, so it'll come down. It will drill down into the material and then start with the first pass. This is why I like the adaptive clearing, because it puts the less strain on the bit that you will use just normal clearing with. So I'll just speed this up a bit. So that's 1 pass. We already set the depth per pass to 2mm. So then it will cut a second pass and then a 3rd pass to that bottom of that surface. If we didn't select leave stock, or if we selected leave stock, you'll see that this bottom profile won't cut to that surface. It'll actually leave the amount that you've allocated at leave stock will still be left over here. So we want it to cut to that surface, so this is what we want. So we're happy with that. Exit simulation. Let's go to the next part, which will be the slot. So I'll go here to 2D slot. I'll select that curve over there and this one, and then we'll select our tool, which is the same tool, 25mm end. No coolant. Settings has already been set up. We'll go to the select. That's already been selected. The curves that we're cutting. And then we'll go to the passes. And we'll say here again, multiple depths at 2mm. Hit OK. Let that simulate. Just go back here to the selected contours. Let me remove this contour so it actually uses the bottom as a reference. Hit OK on that, and that still doesn't cut. It does. You'll see it zigzags down into that material. Let's just simulate this. See what happens. So it zigzags into that material. To the bottom. You can see it's cutting to the bottom there. So I don't see any problems there. That seems like a good profile. Exit simulation. And then the final thing that we'll do is the 2D contour, which would be the outline cut, which is that line over there. First select the tool. That's the same, number 1. That's the 25mm end mill. This has already been set up. Next is the geometry. We've selected that bottom curve, and we will add some tabs here. Now you can see, I put the tabs in there like that, but I like to just use manual tabs. Let me just remove all the other ones. Rectangular, number of tabs. How do I remove here? Just control click to remove. Contour. think 6 will be a good number here. The size of the tabs you can just put on here. I'll give it a little bit more height, 1.5. You see they increased slightly, a little bit bigger. Tab width, that's fine. Let's go to our height. You can have a look at everything here. Retract height 5mm. Everything runs over the pod, so there'll be no collisions there. Passes, we'll say multiple passes here, and then maximum roughing step down. We'll call this 2mm, and stock to leave. We don't have to select that because we want it to cut right through. And then we'll hit OK. Let's wait for this to simulate. And then we go to simulate. And then it runs outside. And you can see the tabs has been left. Everything seems good here. Exit simulation. Okay, so now we're just going to export this. So I'll select these 3 files. That's the outside contour, that's the slot, and the pocket. We'll hit NC. We'll call this trophy base. I'll output it to the desktop. Post. Let's just go have a look at this then. Trophy base. And there is our file, adaptive milling 1, which is the pocket. And then we'll go to the next profile, and the next profile. Everything seems to be worthy here. If you have different tools, a easy way to just combine them is just to Control A, select all of these, and then just copy and paste the 2 files together, and that will automatically then create the tool change for you. And then you just have to check that the tool, the right tool is selected if you're doing your tool changes. So let's get this running, put this on the machine, get the stock on the machine, and start cutting. Next we'll do the upright perspex. So I'll just go find and upload our perspex. Alright, so there we go. Let's start to set this up. We go to manufacture. And we're going to set the stock up first. We'll just check. Call this 220. I know this is 85 in height, in depth, and the height is 10 millimeter. That's not correct. So the material is 3.5. 4.5. And then we hit OK. And then the only thing that we'll do here is a 2D contour. So we will select the bottom profile. We'll select our tool. I'll use the 25mm, 1/8 of an inch. I've got that selected. I'm actually going to add a tab, a few tabs here. So I'll just go here. I will put tabs in manually. Let's put one over there, one over there, one over there, one over there. And then we go to geometry. I'm going to set the bottom height to -0.5 just to make sure that it cuts through the material. And then I will do multiple depths, 2 mil per cut. We don't have to leave any stock. Hit OK. And let's see what this does. That is what we want. So we'll just select this 2D contour cut. We'll go to NC program. We'll call this upright trophy perspex. We'll save that and we'll put it on the machine. So for the wooden upright base, we're going to start with importing our file. So we'll just go here to the project folder, and then we're going to upload, go find the folder. Upright, upload this. Okay, so we close. Then we go find the wooden upright, which is over here. Double click on that. Now that's the piece we are cutting. What I'll do here is first we'll just go to manufacture and start with the setup. Now we are using the Makera 3-axis machine. We are doing a milling operation. We're going to use the stock box point, which is that corner there, and then we've selected the body to be cut. Then we'll go to the next one. Now I've already measured the stock. My width is about 250, but I'll just put in here a little bit more than what it is. So I'll go to 10. So it's got a 10 mil there and a 10 mil on this side. And then model position, and the width is center, that's fine. The depth is 50, so I'll just increase that slightly, go 65. Model position would be center of that, and the height that I'm cutting this to is 20 mil. And this we want to be at the bottom of the stock. No, sorry, my stock height, this is wrong. The stock height that I've got is 32, but I'm gonna cut it to 20 mil. So then we'll do an offset 0, so it's at the bottom. So it's actually gonna be milling this whole section at the top here until we get to this face. Okay, so that's set up. Let's just double check. Everything here seems fine. It's in the center, and then I'm not gonna modify the program naming conventions now. So this is gonna be a very basic, very simple operation. We're going to do a facing operation. We can select the face that it's cutting to. We'll select our tool, which will be the 25 mil end. Select that. This parameter has already been set. The contours has been selected. We will just double check if everything's correct here. So the top of the stock is sitting there, and the bottom is over there. The bottom of the cut will be till there. So let's just hit OK on that. Then you'll see it's going to mill down until that top face. So that's the first operation we'll do. And then secondly, we'll do the 2D contour cut, which would be to this bottom curve over here. We are going to add some tabs. I'll do this manually. Number of tabs, manual tabs. I'll select, I'll put one over there. I need to just increase this height slightly. I'll go 1.5. Add one there. Add one there. Add one there. Let's just check the heights that we have here. The bottom is the bottom of the stock, that's fine. And then here we're going to go multiple depths, and we'll be cutting at a depth of 3 millimeter per pass. Stock to leave, no. Passes, tolerances, this is all fine. We don't have to link any other operations to this. I'm just gonna say bottom height here from the selected contour. I'm just gonna go a little bit deeper. So I'm just gonna go 0.5, 0.5 minus 0.5, so it actually cuts past the Z0 into the stock material. Just so that, and then we have our tab still there, so that will hold everything in place. One thing on the facing operation, it's doing a single pass. So I just forgot to go here to multiple depths, and we are milling at 3 millimeter per pass. Hit OK on that. Let's just hide this one. Let's just simulate this just to check if this is working. I'll enable stock here, and then we'll cut at the top. It'll go zigzag, down, and then down until that face, and then from there we'll do the outside cut. And that is exactly what we want. Let's save this and then we send it to the machine. So exit simulation, select both of these, NC program, I'll call this upright. Post. So here I started mounting this piece of wood, which I think is ebony. I've never had experience with cutting this wood, but it's a very hard wood, and this is how the machine reacted. But you can listen to the sound of the machine that the machine makes here. And I obviously knew something was wrong, but I kept on recording just to show you, that this bit is under strain. So I actually have a bit break here. So this just kind of shows you what the machine will sound like when it's under too much pressure, and that you have to change the parameters of your cut. I moved on to a piece of maple for the same cut, and here you can see some footage of a good sounding operation. So to get started on the laser cutting, first thing I'll grab is just the outline of the wooden upright part that we're going to engrave. So I'll just drag that in here. And then I'll place this right in the bottom XY location in anchor point 1. So I basically just have to mount the material there. And then I'll write some text. So this trophy is the most improved. Good spell. Scale this down slightly. It automatically scales if you just change if you drag it from the corner, it automatically scales. If you want to adjust the scale, then you hold shift, then you can push and drag it as much as you want. So I'll keep it that way. Then I'll go grab the logo that I'm putting on here. Harps, that's a team. I'll rotate this, so this is now the bottom. Hold shift just to snap it into grid. Seems good to me. Now this text can be set to either line or full. Now I want to fill this because I want all the letters to be engraved on the inside of it. If it's a line, it'll just do the border of the letters. So that's been set up already. I'm going to do the power at 100%. We don't have any air, so I'll take that off. And then this picture, I'll just go to adjust image. So I'm not going to invert the display, but if I go here and I say preview, not inverted, so we have to invert. We want to engrave that black. So at the moment what's happening is it's reading this outside borderline as well. So this is basically just a guide. So I'm actually going to delete this now. So let's preview this again. Because I said full, so that's black, so that's going to be engraved, the full letters and the inside of the letters. And then this I need to adjust now, so I have to invert this image. So I'll do a negative image of this so that the lines are black. Hit OK on that. Let's say preview again, but I'm not inverting this. So that will be all engraved, and then the logo will be engraved like that. I'm setting my image engraved to 70%. Doing it at 100% on this fine details took away a little bit of the details, but you can see that seems quite well. There is some lines here, but I'm not too worried about those because I'm going to give it a little sand afterwards. So I'll hit OK. We'll save this G code, send that to the machine, and then get this started. So to finish it off, I just had to sand all the parts a little bit and then assemble them. I used some glue and some double-sided tape, and then I finished it off by 3D printing a little football for the top, and I just glued that to finish off the top of the trophy. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to see some more. If you have any questions or comments, post that down below. Links to our socials in the video description. We have a very active Discord server, so you could join us on there as well. Thanks for watching. Cheers.